Now, when it comes to your childhood cartoon animation, you don't really remember what happened if you're not careful enough. Well, for me, it was very simple. As a child, I had audacity to think clearly enough for my own sake. You could call it mental health nowadays. Back in the day, it was just, does he shut up enough? He mustn't talk. We feed, we work, caretake, mother, father, food. It was like that. It's like, well, back in the day, people like were cash registers from 70s. It's like no electricity whatsoever. Uh, like this typewriter cashier. That was exactly what people were, each and every one of them. Uh, and then, well, there was this I could say uh, stream of cartoon that like broaden our horizon. X-Men was one of those. I liked it. To be honest, well, as a child, I watched it like, what's happening? Oh, they used weird stuff. It's like superpower because they were mutant. What the is mutant? Their cell just evolved in improper way. How are they stable? You're a child, you don't ask such things. They do romance. You're a child. No. Then work. I'm 9 years old, idiot. Grounded for a year stuff. Don't use bad language. So it was like that. Well, uh, mm, thankfully there was Burger King and there is Burger King. There will always be Burger King. Yeah. So so and then well there is X-Men. So well I think the cartoon show viewing channel made its well what's opposite of debut like end like as in brand was like I think they shown the last episode of X-Men original. Uh, well, it goes like this. Well, they crew of Professor X. They supposed fail stop fail to stop apocalypse. And then well you see their gravestone, some of them, and then there's Wolverine. However, Wolverine lives, and then well you see movie like I think 20 years later or something. And then well you have this DC Comics well interference, and then well you have Doctor Strange. Rest is just well how we teach mythology to new generation without going bonkers. And then well you don't have any culture anymore. It's like fail upon fail. However, it's not like that. It wasn't like that. Well, original X-Men I watched had well something. It's like well it was devoid of this artistic vision. Personal commentary, yes. Uh, however, it had this story that like caught my attention. That's all I can say. So thing is, from end of original X-Men. You should have made this comment assumption, no, reasoning, yes, well, it's this. Professor X clearly stated that, all right, despite all of our efforts, we failed to reach a state where we succeed. So what are we going to do? And experiment. And then, well, if you watch last few episode carefully, what they do is, well, Professor X either goes back in time, which they as a group already did, and then, well, they understood that they already they will fail again, and then what did they do? They decided to travel, in my opinion, to this alternate dimension where apocalypse did not even exist. And then, well, that is how original X-Men ended. And then, well, over there, you have your, well, much healthier Professor X, entire crew, and then, well, I'm not sure about Gambit also. What was like he and Wolverine had a fight over some woman. I'm not really sure. Yeah. And then, well, it was like that. And then, well, that's the conclusion. Well, you don't know. Why? We don't know. We, as creators of this cartoon, don't know what happened. So we end the show. All right. And then, well, it's like 30 years or something later, you should not be talking about that. You can watch Game of Thrones. It's like, you can watch anime. You can do productive things. Do something else. X-Men ended, in my opinion, in most well, fruitful way. Why? It's like, well, this is not what we intended despite our best efforts. So what are we going to do? Well, this is the question that we present to viewer. What viewer does. And then there was this silence. That silence did not mean non-existent, nothing, void. It meant, all right, you live, you do things, and then, well, things will envelop, as in develop by themselves according to you, as much as you're allowed as a single unit of cell, as in like biology. This is why you don't talk about X-Men or bring X-Men ever to like theater, whatever. If you want so much, there are approved movie. Also, there are fan club, I think. And then, well, if you want, you can always watch Marvel. It's not so spiritual successor. However, well, they lose quality in order to reach this younger generation. So, well, consider. And then, well, please don't talk about X-Men, especially Professor X.